Listen, you Democrats, do you really think that the black community in black America, especially people like myself that live in the ghetto, really want to be replaced by illegal immigrants that you fight for? I actually saw black folks fighting so that they can be replaced by illegal immigrants. It was astonishing. Yeah. They're actually fighting. Now they got this faux Black Panther Party out there. By the way, Democrats have historically hated the Black Panther Party in so much that they killed them. We have this going on right now, and they expect that some black fool, a fool, will actually want to side with illegal immigrants in America. That's the dumbest thing you can't conceive dumber. Literally, tell me what is actually dumber than that. You can't conceive it. I don't get it. But the Democrats think that they can sell the black community this lie. They think that the Jasmine Crockett's, the Raphael Warnocks, the Stacey Abrams, these individuals can actually sell the black community on letting illegals live in their neighborhoods, take their resources, buy their houses, fill their hospitals. They actually think that that's what's good for us.
I thank God some of us are waking up. What this gentleman is saying is absolutely right. Now, I don't know if the middle and the upper class black Americans, think that they're not being replaced, but this gentleman in the hood understands the mission. Where do these illegal immigrants go when they come into the country? They go into black and brown low-income communities, okay, whose resources they actually take when they arrive. They're the ones that take the food stamps, the housing assistance, all of these things that were originally intended for poor Americans. They come into these communities and they do replace these low-income black American voters. That's what they came in here for, so that they can increase their voter population, their voter base. So they're promised all of these things. And yes, they replaced the black American. And what else this gentleman was saying when he was talking about the original Black Panther Party, the original Black Panther Party was about law and order. They were initiated to protect black citizens and actually other communities against harassment by police officials, okay? And if you know anything about history, they weren't really about the Democratic Party. And Huey Newton and the rest of them were taken out. They were unalived by these three letter agencies. You got to know your history, but let's continue. I'm reacting to A Righteous Perspective. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, but let's continue with this video.
They think that. Their brain seems to think that we are dumb enough, stupid enough, vacant enough to actually help them in that fight.
Yeah, the sad part about it is they're somewhat right. There are some folks in the community that do believe that the Democrats have their best interests at heart, unfortunately.
Are you optimistic about the chances for Democrats in the next cycle?
After the most recent election, yes. Before the most recent election,
you weren't so sure?
Was not sure at all.
Because of the leadership?
No, because of the results of election after election. They kind of lethargic. View that the action that people took on elections.
And Donald Trump had increased his share of black male voters by double, by 50%.
Simply because people are easily brainwashed.
Wow.
Really?
You think that black male voters doubled their support for Trump because they were brainwashed?
They believe that's foolishness. When I first started in politics, I used to say that there's no substitute for substance. I used to say that a lot.
Do you still believe that?
No.
Why?
Because style trumps substance, and that is an intended pun.
This is the type of rhetoric that pushed a lot of brothers to the other side.
Now, this is not a picture of a sellout. Representative Claiborne, AKA Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks, okay? Now, this was precisely the thing that caused Black American men to change party? The lack of substance. The lack of substance and the lack of policy that the Democratic Party did not have. Okay, what are we talking about? They call it reproductive rights, unaliving children at birth. They talked about trans surgery. They talked about the alphabet community. What other policy did they have? What about those agendas align with Black men's values? Tell me. I'll wait. But let's continue.
Barack Obama got out in front of those brothers and said that, hey, you got to support Kamala Harris because, man, miss me with all of that. People have access to the information. They have access to the data, and they can come up with their own conclusions. They can make their own decisions about what they're seeing from both sides. I'm not here, and I've been saying this for quite some time, I'm not here to push, if you are a Democrat, I'm not here to push you to become a Republican. My hopes is that you will take the time to do your own due diligence, your own research, and make a decision based off of that. Not based off of the fact that, hey, I'm Black, I should vote Democrat, or I'm a woman, I should vote Democrat, or I'm this race or that race, or whatever the case may be, and I should support these people. No. Go do your own due diligence, do your own research, and come up with a conclusion for yourself. That's the problem with people like Jim Clyburn and other Democrats out there that believe that they own the Black vote. Mm-hmm. And anybody that is not supporting the Democrat Party has been brainwashed. These people, they have no shame. And they have no real connection to the people, within the grassroots. They have no idea what the heck is going on.
It's MLK Day, so I'm going to address it because I'm tired of seeing it too. We aren't free. Name something that a white person can do that I can't. I'm going to wait all day. That's it. I'm a felon. I ain't got no education. And I'm a Black male. I'm pretty sure I can see this. So, and I can walk in the store and buy anything, go in and apply for any job that I want. I can do anything a white person can do. The difference is white people can accept the reply no. Black people can't take that. They can't. You go in and ask, Black person go in and ask for a job and they're told no. They throw everything in the world. It's because I'm Black. It's because, no, you came in and applied for an engineering job and you not went to college or nothing, but this is a job you apply for. But then you say, oh, it's because I'm Black. Stop. There's not a thing in this planet that a white man can go do that I can't. The bad thing is being told that only makes me try harder to show him that I can do it better than him. That's just how I was born and raised, motherfucker. You tell me I can't do something, I'm going to go do it and I'm going to do it better. So when you figure out you can answer that motherfucking question and show me something a white man can do that a Black man can't, I'll understand. And don't talk no shit about no guns because I just seen a Somali sit on the trunk of a car with a gun and not die. So, hey, facts are facts.
And I'd be the last person in the world to tell that, a person can't do something or a Black man can't do something because they're Black. Back in the 50s and 60s, my grandfather owned all of the gas stations in Harlem on 145th Street. Very wealthy. He was the wealthiest man in Harlem. Okay, and we're talking during the 60s, during the height of civil rights activity. So that's enough to tell you that all of this stuff that's going on right now is just gaslighting. There's an agenda behind it. What exactly is the agenda? I believe it's about division. That's what I believe. If they can cause some kind of race war, Blacks fighting against whites, the alphabet community fighting against those that, are not a part of that agenda, people fighting, just a whole bunch of division and stuff, then these people, these globalists can bring about their agenda. Okay, don't look over here because we got this, we're doing this thing over here. So they're going to keep you busy with the fighting. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? But let's continue with this.
People don't like me. I'm from Hollis, Queens, bro. I'm from the streets of New York City. I go to the streets of America everywhere, all over this country. I'm inside and outside arenas. I'm inside and outside local businesses and stuff like that. I'm the ambassador for HBCU Week in concert with Ashley Christopher and other people. I've helped generate over 12,000 scholarships in excess of $150 million for Black students. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I ain't just down with a fraternity. That's a brotherhood. All of them are my boys. I was raised by 5 black women, Joy. I have 9 nieces. I have 2 daughters. Everybody black. I still go home to Hollis.
And I can't think of a more divisive person than Joy Reid. I'm so glad she's not on MSBS NBC anymore.
Take to HBCUs, packed gymnasiums wherever we go. Black people don't like me? You sure? Walt Disney and HBCUs, when we start going on tours every year. We've been to Delaware State. We've been to Bethune-Cookman. We've been to Norfolk State. We've been to Winston-Salem State. We've been to Savannah State. Oh, yeah. We going to Texas Southern next month. We don't stop. And I said we. Because in concert with the very organization that I work for that you accused me of being paid by just to talk about white, just to talk nastiest things about black people. What about what I celebrate?
Stephen A needs to just stop playing and stop trying to capitulate to these folks on the left. What he has to understand, and maybe he is starting to come to the realization is that you can't appease these people. You can't. They have, in their mind, 2 types of people, oppressors and the oppressed. And they feel like any man out there, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. Any man out there that's saying, hey, no, I'll forge my own way. I'll put the work in, I'll outwork you, I'll outcompete you, I'll go and I'll be better than you. That goes against their narrative. That goes against what they push on the masses. They hope that this dude becomes a victim.
Mm-hmm.
They can't stand it. They can't stand it. Now, I'm sitting here saying, I don't agree with everything that Stephen A says. I respect his hustle. I respect his grind. I think he's a habitual fence straddler. I think he's a habitual flip-flopper. I wish he'd just pick a side. But you can't knock the fact that this dude's been out there working. You can't refute that. And for someone like a Joy or anybody else to come out there and say like, hey, this man's working for quote unquote white supremacy, like how? Why? Because he voices his opinion and you disagree with it? Why? Because he just doesn't 100% capitulate to the left in lockstep? And that's a lot of the problem with these people. That's the huge problem. They think and they believe, you know what I'm saying, that they own black men and the black man vote. And if you don't do that, you're capitulating to whiteness. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. But that's what they believe. But again, like I said in a previous video, this is the playbook from Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. This is their playbook. If people took the time to really get an understanding of who they are and what they're about and what their agenda is, none of this would be a surprise to you. None of it.
All right, you want to help me? Go home. Wherever that home is, go. Right. Ain't no white supremacy, American supremacy. Right? American supremacy. And if you don't know what an American is, then I don't know what to say. Because I know.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, sister. Thank you.
And I don't think there's anything worse than a white liberal getting out there protesting, thinking that she's helping black people. Just like this sister said, go take your behind home. You have no clue as to what's going on. You've probably been indoctrinated at college and think that all black people are poor and they're all on welfare and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Go home, get yourself educated, unwoke yourself and find out what's really going on. But the thing about this victimization mindset, it allows people like Joy Reid to propagate that and to make people think, well, I'm a victim, so I guess I just need to depend on public service. I just need to depend on Section 8 and welfare and SNAP benefits and that sort of thing. I have no responsibility to stand on my own feet and get myself together. I just have to play the victim. And you're playing right into the communist hands. You're playing right into the globalist plans, right? You'll own nothing and be happy. That's what they want for you. And with all the stress that's going on in the world, this is a perfect time to talk about my sponsor, Mito Blue. Mito Blue helps to reduce stress and high cortisol within the mitochondria at a cellular level. It's a pharmaceutical grade natural substance that not too many companies can say. You can put the code KP20 when you check out to get 20% off.
These people here, these liberals, especially liberal white women, man, they are, in my opinion, one of the biggest threats to our nation. Now, there's some others that might be a little bigger. They're high on the list.
Only blackmailed into believing that enforcing the border is immoral, unbiblical, and unloving, when in reality, chaos has never been compassion, and scripture has never supported lawlessness. Right now, immigration enforcement is sparking protests, riots, and even deadly confrontations. The media frames this as cruelty versus kindness, but scripture never gives us that false choice. God is a God of order, justice, and mercy, not chaos. The Bible is clear. Nations have borders, leaders have authority, and laws exist to restrain evil. Romans 13 tells us that government's role is to uphold justice. A border that isn't enforced isn't compassionate. It's negligent. Uncontrolled immigration fuels human trafficking, drugs, exploitation of women and children, and lawlessness. That's not mercy. That's abandonment. At the same time, Christians are commanded to love thy neighbor. That means helping people without destroying the rule of law. You can believe in border security and believe every human life has value. Those ideas are not enemies. They belong together. What we're seeing in the streets isn't compassion. It's disorder being baptized as virtue. Christians must reject emotional manipulation and speak truth with clarity. Secure borders, lawful immigration, real compassion. Justice without mercy is cruel, but mercy without order is chaos. And please, let's stop pretending the Bible supports open borders and anarchy.
I'm so glad this young lady said this. You don't know how many times I have friends that have said to me, oh, well, it's unchristian. You have to love your neighbor. You know, you're supposed to love the foreigner, the immigrant, blah, blah, blah. But they forget the submission to governing authorities part, right? In Romans 13, it says, let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those do so will bring judgment on themselves. Okay, so let's stop with the unchristian rhetoric. I hear this so much. And I know the minister, Marcus Rogers, posted something, I believe, on Instagram yesterday. And you had so many Christians that were coming up there, baby Christians, no doubt, who were saying that, you know, what happened to this young man is unjust. It's unchristian to think this way. No, you don't know Christianity. You don't understand that Christianity and the Bible are governing authorities that react and are instituted by laws, spiritual law first, and then natural law. But let's continue.
Yeah. They use tolerance, democracy, and rules selectively, but only against their opponents. People need to get an understanding as to the type of people that they're up against. These aren't good people. These are people that have a blueprint and they're following it to the T. Mm-hmm. The sooner people wake up and realize what's going on, the easier it will be to confront the madness.
Hey folks, this is Keith, the law enforcement OG. And guess what happened? Yeah, the police chief of Minneapolis indicates that 24 of his cops have basically bailed on him. They quit. 18 of these cops are now working within the ranks of ICE. How ironic. But this is an example of what happens when you have corrupt leadership, you have a city that's lawless, and you got a weak-ass police chief that does not back your play. And what happens is good cops leave for better pastures. Good for them. And I hope to see more of them quit. Minneapolis, you are now a failed city. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I do feel a certain kind of way because it is unfortunate because you do have law-abiding citizens out there. You do have people that's not with this foolishness. But unfortunately, the leadership that these people have voted for, not all of them, but enough of them, is basically failing the community. And they could care less about the actual constituents of the state of Minnesota. And to be honest with you, you could say that about every Democratic state or city out there. The power that be, the leadership, they could care less about their constituents. It's solely about power and pushing their narrative. Simple as that.
But tell me, what do you think about what's going on? What do you think about the lawlessness and the anarchy that's happening in Minnesota? What do you think about these liberal laws, Tim Walz, Mayor Frey, and the Black community moving away from the Democratic Party? I think it's about time. I pray that more people wake up before it's too late and their country is taken over. But let me know what you think about all this, okay? Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Black Righteous Perspectives, link in the description. If you're feeling up to it, buy your girl a cup of coffee, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.